Hey everybody, how's it going? I got this kit in from Forgeworld's Mk3 Power Armor kit, the Iron Armor, and it looks pretty cool. So I thought I'd do a video on it, just showing you what you get. Now I'm not showing you all the bits because some are redundant. I'm just showing you enough so you can make one marine out of it at the very least. Um, they make Mark II through Mark VI, and all of them look very cool. I'm not a big fan of Mark VI armor in general, but I think they did a good job on the kit itself. I just don't like the beaky helmet. Um, but I went with Mark III Iron Armor because I like that heavier look that it has to it. And with Forge World, before I show you the pieces up close, Forge World, their kits tend to require some work. You gotta trim them up, clean them up, possibly fill in any air bubbles or heat them up with warm water and fix any warped pieces that may be there depending on what kit you get. But I find the most work you have to put into prepping the model really, the most work is done on vehicles. Their infantry tends to be pretty okay. Now, not really sure about battle suits per se, but because it's a more extensive kit. But for the most part, things like Space Marines, uh, Terminator armor, Space Marines, um, stuff from Eldar, stuff for um, why am I blanking? I think there's some demon stuff out there too. Uh, or like, for at least for fantasy there is. I know that, but they tend to be pretty okay. So I'll show you what I mean. Well, you have this big honking brick here of resin. You also get only two minor parts they have to clip and possibly clean up for the backpacks, and the backpacks are very well detailed, I might add. Um, so a big difference from when I was cleaning up the Titan, which I haven't done in ages. Uh, but a big difference from cleaning up these pieces to cleaning up Titan or even other vehicle pieces from Forge World. Now, before I continue, you can see we got these big honking bricks, I called it, of resin. I forget who said it in one of the videos I was watching in the past, but they made mention to you can use this as terrain pieces. The triangular wedge type of resin piece, and I fully agree. I thought that back when I first getting stuff from Forge World, you can definitely put some bullet holes in them, um, some cracks, file it down, weather it a bit, and you can use them as barricades, makeshift tank traps. Um, you could even use them as kind of like a parking lot. You know, the thing at the end of the parking spaces and parking lots to keep your not in all parking spaces, but the ones that tend to be by like maybe pull in and it's either there's a sidewalk or something there, and you have those little blockers. You can even utilize that for that. I know for like a tank depot or something, like a supply depot, or a tank yard or something. If you're gonna do like a modeling up like a tank yard, there we go. You can have that there. That's kind of where the tanks would park to keep them from, so they know that they've gone far enough or something. I don't know. You can make something up. Point is, you can utilize them aside from just throwing them out. But let's get back to the point at hand, which is the armor itself and not the resin blocks that came with it. Um, the helmets, I love Mark III helmets, so they did a very good job here. Very clean. The shoulder pads look great. I mean, there's some minor work on this one to clean that up. But other than that, they look very well done. So that'll be fun. The legs, I like the legs. The legs are very beefy. As you can see, they got the riveted parts of the armor on there. Very cool detail on these guys. Lots of detail, as you would expect from Forge World. Now the arms look cool as well. I know two of them are missing. They're in the bag. But you can see they're very beefy, very like sci-fi knight look. And they got a heavy armor vambrace there as well. Lastly, the chest itself is probably going to require the most work for cleaning up. Because it has this piece right here. You have to trim the little flash over here away, so it looks something similar to this, and this needs to be cleaned up a bit more as well. But then you file that down, trim that down, and it'll sit on its legs, no problem. Excuse me. But overall, the kit looks great. Now, I was showing you this earlier. The reason being is these arms are very different from standard Space Marine arms. Let's see if I can show you. Even on like this pewter guy here, you can see his arms are different than that. Not quite as beefy. Oh, there we go. I'm just showing you the Angel of Fury model because it's the first one I could grab. Not because it's going to be Angels of Fury models. Maybe one will be, but anyway. The reason why I'm showing you that is I try to make my models look as uniform as possible as far as you know, the arms match the legs, match the chest, match the head. Now the helmets, you know, there's some degree of flexibility there, but for these arms, they just look beefier, and I feel if you put less beefier looking arms on the model, it would kind of take away from the model's look. Now power fists, whatever. Power fist is so big that you know, I'll show you. You don't really have to worry about the vambrace there. It'll fit in just fine. But for non-power armored weapons like a power axe or a power sword or a Crozius or cannon or something like that, I would like to have the arm match the other arm as close as possible and the body. Now, if you look at the fantasy range, you see the Chaos Knights. The Chaos Knights, I was looking at their bits online, their right arm, which is their weapon arm for the most part, has a very similar look to these arms, with the vambrace on there and everything like that. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but it's really close, so you can get away with it. Now, they tend to have Chaos icons engraved in their armor, so you have to do minor green stuff filling into the Chaos icon on the vambrace. But it'll definitely work. And some of the weapons you can't really use, like a demon sword, unless you're playing Chaos. If you're playing Chaos, hey, no work required, just take the bit and put it on your model. But if you're going to be a loyalist, even pre-heresy, like a loyal Emperor's Children or loyal Death Guard or whatever, you're going to have to fill in those small little icons, which won't be that hard. But they have two different mace weapons that I've seen, both of which no work required on the weapon itself. It can fit in just fine to any army. There are some axes that you have to clip the axe head off because it's very chaos looking, and then you can put on your own axe head or your own type of weapon head that would fit onto that shaft, and it'll look just fine. You can turn that into a Crozius or cannon, for example. They have pole arms, which could work as relic blades. You just have to clean them up a bit to get like the chaosy feel off of them. But then they definitely work as relic blades. Or even if you clean them up and clip off the top of it at a certain point, you can put a Thunderhammer head on there and make your own Thunderhammer look if you wanted to. But really, the swords look too chaosy. So if you're playing a Chaos army, like I said, no problem to slap the arms on there. But if you're going to be loyalist, a little bit more extra work involved, but the look does fit with these arms. So you could have the other arm holding an Auspex, maybe holding a bolter, you know, because he's drawing his sword or whatever, or holding whatever you want to hold. Just something that I throw out there to you guys in case you're thinking, you know, I want to make him a sergeant or a captain with a power weapon, but I too want to keep in line with the look of this arm. Well, then looking at the Chaos Knights bits may be the way to go. I wouldn't suggest buying an entire kit because you're just going to utilize the arms really. Although that kit could be used well for other stuff, making your own power armor look, whatever, but that's another video. Point is, this kit looks fantastic. The only hiccup is these arms look different from standard arms, so if you want to keep the look uniform like that with power weapon, I would suggest the Chaos Knights weapon arm, as long as you get one that fits appropriately for your army. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope that made sense, and until next time, take it easy.